Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a little mini black-nosed dace. The hook that I have in the vise, this is a 3 extra long nymph hook. It is a number 475 from Lively Legs, size 12, and you could actually tie this in a size 14 if you'd like. And you could go up to a size 6. I'm going to use black thread. Now, if you want this to really get down on the bottom, I have a 3mm tungsten bead on there. But if you really want it to get down on the bottom, you can go ahead and add some lead-free wire on there. I'm going to put a base of thread on the hook, and we're going to bring that back to just inside the point of the hook when it's hanging. Now we're going to put a little red tag on there, or a little red tail, and for that I'm going to use, this is just a goose feather. It is a costume goose feather, and we could go ahead and take maybe about 3/8 of an inch off there. We're going to keep that tag no more than a half the hook length. 1/3 is probably better. I'm going to go ahead and hold that there, make a loose loop, pull it straight down. You'll see that front go up. Do that again. Then I'm going to wrap this forward. We're going to take that, go ahead and wrap that up towards the front, and will keep the body nice and level. Go ahead and remove that excess. So we just want a little bit of a little butt there. Now we could go ahead and take our tinsel, and we're going to use, I'm using gold and silver tinsel, and I'm going to want to see the silver side. So I'm going to tie it in with the long end towards the rear, and I'm going to tie it in so I could see the silver side. Then I'm going to go ahead and wrap that. I'm going to wrap it back and then forward. We're going to try to overlap this a little bit. Now we're going to bring that back. Keep those wraps nice and tight. You don't want it coming apart on you. Bring that right up to the tail. And then we're going to go forward again. And by going back and then forward, what you're going to do is, if for some reason you had a little gap in there, you're going to cover it over. Keep them nice and tight and overlap them slightly. And we're going to bring that right up. And we're going to tie that off. And you can see I cut off, or I stopped it about one bead width behind the bead. I'm going to fold this back and put maybe 2 or 3 wraps on top of that. I could go ahead and trim off that excess. Now we're going to use bucktail. We're going to use 3 different colors of bucktail. We're going to use white, we're going to use black, and we're going to use a brown. For the brown, you can use the brown that is on the back side of the white. I'm going to just take a small pinch of the white, and I'm only going to take maybe 20 or 30 hairs. And we're going to put them in our hair stacker. Use your large hair stacker here. drop them in. Go ahead and stack them. Lift the tube and give them a couple more taps, and that will ensure that they're sticking out plenty so you can grab them. And we're going to put these right on top. We're going to make them about the length of the tail to the tail. And then we're going to tie those in. Going to trim off that excess. Try to cut them, try to trim them in back of that bead. Now they're sticking up a little bit. I'm going to take another couple of turns back on them, kind of loosen them, looser turns going back there. That'll help flatten them out there a bit. Now I'm going to take the black bucktail and I'm going to take a small amount of that. Line the tips. I'm going to go ahead and tie them in right on top. Actually, I think I got a little bit too much there. I'm going to take about half of these. I'll grab them and get rid of that half. There we go. We're going to make these about the same length as the white. Tie them in. Give them a couple tight wraps and then give them a little bit of looser wraps coming back. Get them to lay down there nice. And then we can trim off that excess. And again, try to get that in back of the bead. And now we're going to go for our brown, and I'm going to use the dyed brown. And once again, the same amount of hairs. And now we're going to take our brown and we're going to tie them in right on top. Going to secure them a little bit back from the bead right now, so when I cut it I don't have them sticking out over the bead, because now we got, this is the third bunch of hair building up a diameter there. And then we're going to go ahead and clean up that head. We'll take our whip finish, put the hook over the thread, around the camel hump, bring it back, invert it. There's our X, bring that X down to the shank. Give it 3 to 6 wraps. Tighten that up. And now we could go ahead and put our head cement on there. And you could be generous with this head cement. Let that head cement soak in to get all 3 layers of the deer hair. And here we have a mini black-nosed dace. I hope that you learned something from this video. I hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Let them know that I sent you. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any flies that I make, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it there, just send me a message on Etsy and tell me what you're looking for, and we'll figure things out. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.